It's like, where do you want, if you could live anywhere in the world, Mike, where would you live? He goes, summer. It's like, what? So yeah, that's exactly how we live. So there's one change. We're going to go.
Want to travel the world and build your business empire at the same time? Because if you said yes to that, then you are going to love this episode. This is with Taki Moore, and we are going to open up and unveil how is it that you can travel the world with a family, explore and taste and enjoy everything this world has to offer, and build the business empire they want, and earn millions of dollars and impact thousands of people around the world as you do the work that you love. Hi, I'm Chris Dufay, and you're watching Breaking Success. This is the show that gives you the answers for you to build the body, the business, and the life that you love. Now, personally, my family and I, we traveled for 3 months at the end of last year and had a great time. And it just wet our lips, and we want so much more right now. So we are actually about to go packing up and travel the world for at least 6 months. We've got Thailand, we've got Mexico, we've got LA, we've got South America such as Chile and Peru and Brazil locked in. We've also got Spain and around Europe. We're also going to be back in Bali and then in Australia as well. We're going around the world, and I want to make sure that I can actually still continue to build and grow my 2 companies. I want to have an absolutely epic time. I want to be able to be in the best health and the best shape possible whilst doing this. And this is why we go to Taki, because he gives us some phenomenal answers, and you're going to be able to get so much out of today's episode. No foreplay, let's just jump straight into this. I want us to dissect. You've been doing an incredible job of nomad, business, life, just being awesome. And that's when I was like, okay, you know what? We dabbled in it last year. There was about 3 months towards the end of the year where it was just travel 24/7, and it went well.
Good months too.
It was good. It was good. Like, we got to jam for a bit, and I had a bit of an experiment there. It went really well, and now I'm like, okay, well, I feel like I wet my lips. Maybe it's time to go a little bit deeper. And then you and I obviously had a bit of a back and forth message, just so the viewer kind of has some context in what's going on. And then you're like, let's just jump on, let's jam about this. I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want to talk about, because I feel like no one's talking about this stuff.
Yeah, well, I don't know anyone who's talking about this stuff. I've never really talked about it. I've just done it. So for a little bit of context, last year was like 2017 was the best year of my life. I'm 41.
So good.
And it was like, yeah, I'm like, even thinking about it now, I'm excited like a kid before Christmas. And it didn't accidentally happen. We made it that way. I've got some serious plans to make 2017 look like a pretty bad effort, but I'm going to top it again, is all I'm trying to say.
Okay. Okay, let's start this off. What even planted the seed with you wanting to do what 2017 was? And then maybe even explain what 2017 was.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so really simple. Every year at the end of the year, I think about the year that's about to happen, and I pick a word, like a theme for the year. And so if we go back 2 years ago, we had a really solid year in business. It was great. We helped a lot of people. We grew. We made more money. It was awesome. But frankly, it was a boring year. It was just like beige.
Yeah.
And life's too short to be beige, right? Like, dude, seriously, it was like a bit vanilla. I know it's popular. Everyone eats it, but no one like raves about vanilla ice cream. It's just like that. So I was like, dude, you know what I want more of this year? I want more adventures. Mm. And so 2016's word was adventure. Mm. And so we planned some trips, and we went to Morocco, and we rode camels, and we went to Fiji to this gorgeous, we had a few really extraordinary trips. And I was sitting at if we've only just met, like Chris, you know this, but anyone, there's 2 things you need to know about me. 3 things. I got 6 kids. I love tacos, and I don't wear shoes. So, at the time of this scene, I'm sitting at MX, my local taco shop here in Mona Vale, halfway through a beef taco, thinking about, like, so we traveled. I was like, this has been the best year ever. I don't think there's anywhere, like, how can we ever top this? And my brain just answered for me, and it just said, the travels are good, but what if you never came back?
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, all right. So then I was like, okay, so then we could do more. And so then I started drawing. And is this going to be, are people going to be able to see the video?
Yeah, I'll have the video here for sure. So definitely use the frameworks. Is this the propeller?
Are you okay? This is the propeller.
Yes.
Sam.
Yes.
Can you see it?
Yes. Yeah, please.
All right. Okay, so this is how it starts. So work-wise, 3 times a year in March and July and November, I need to be somewhere. We've got to be in here, March, July, November. We need to be in Sydney, running, in Australia, running black belt workshops, and then in California, running black belt workshops. The rest of the year, we could pretty much be any place.
Yep.
So it's like, if Sydney's home, and 3 times a year we've got to be back, then in between, let's take 3 months and travel the world. It's not a holiday. We're still working just as hard, but we're doing it in more fun places than Mona. I mean, I love Mona. It's great, but it's not like...
Dude, right with you.
And so it's like, okay, so what if we did like a loop and then came back for the workshop, and then a loop and came back for the workshop, and then a loop, and that like on paper looked like a good year. I was like, okay, cool. So where would we put it? And if you know anything like me, I get a little bit carried away. So then I was like, okay, well, let's do, what's going on with my little rewind here? There it is. So then it's like, okay, well, what about we did Europe for a little bit, and then we went to Asia for a little bit, and then Americas for a little bit. I was like, okay, that's good. But any good model needs layers. It's like, okay, so then like, what if Europe was like Spain and London and Italy? And then if Asia was like Bali, where I think we hung out, and Thailand and the Philippines, because we had to go there for the work. Yep. And then the US was like East Coast, West Coast, Brazil.
Nice.
That was the idea. It looks great in theory. And then you go, okay, well, how does this map to an actual school calendar?
Yeah.
Not that great. Yeah, not that great. So, is this okay? Like, do you want to say something?
No, please keep going. This is so good.
So we just said, okay, well, before I'd done the exact locations, well, let's just put some places we'd like to go.
Mm.
And we thought of like let's go nomadic. Let's be nomads. But I'm not a tent dude, and I don't really Airbnb that well. Dude, if Airbnb had a button where for like an extra whatever a day they'd come and like make your beds, do the dishes.
Yes.
Why does that not exist? Anyway,
yeah.
So it's like, okay, so a bunch of continents and places, from like Japan in cherry blossom season to Morocco to in Europe, I was like Viking countries.
Yes.
All right. I forgot they were called Norway and Sweden. But
Scandinavia.
anyway, so we made this list, and we thought that over the next few years, if we could go to as many of these places as we could and have a really good time with the kids, it'd be awesome. Like I think I said before, I got 6 kids, so if we can travel, that'd be great. So that's kind of how it all started. Yeah.
This is so good. Now, how do you answer the question, what if we never came back?
Well, I was like, what if we never came back? That would be awesome. So instead of like doing 3 trips through the year, what if the year was the trips and the 3 times was home? Was kind of how my brain flipped it.
Yep.
And I've got I started wetting my pants about here.
Yeah.
The rest of my family needed a little bit more detail. I was like, great, that's what we're going to do. It's great.
Let's go.
Yep. And they're like, well, what? So then it's like, well, then logistics come up. Like, well, you got to book the flights, and you've got to like schedule this in, and how does it work around our work commitments and school and kids and seeing their friends and stuff. So Kira Marie and I had a chat, and it took us a few weeks to like get her to the point where she was not just like she'd follow me to the ends of the earth. Yeah. I'd follow her to the ends of the earth, but I didn't want to just like drag her along this trip. I wanted it to be like something we created together and that we were both really excited about. Yeah. And so it took a little while, and we ended up like starting to drop it into calendars. This is what our final calendar looked like. Yes. There's lots going on here. Like there's some professionally colored squares, which are worky stuff, and the blue paintbrushes were adventures. And so it started here, April the 7th, I think is when we left. And it finished here at Christmas Day. And like, this was the plan. It changed a ton along the way. Like we were supposed to go to Marrakesh in August. And then my friend Shah said, have you been to Marrakesh in August? I'm like, no. She goes, it's going to be 50 million degrees. It's the middle of summer, you numbnuts. And she said, I'm going in July. No, in May. Come with us then. So we ended up going in, we switched things around and we ended up going in this part here. And then another time we were supposed to go to Cuba. And Cuba had a hurricane. And so we ended up going to Croatia instead. And so blah, blah, blah.
Okay, this is really good. So we've got a really good kind of context and a look into 2017. Now,
Correct.
Can we jump into the weeds on a couple of things and then kind of jump over into 2018? Because like selfishly, I wanted to get on this call because I was like, with us sitting down, I'm like, oh my God, like a wedding pants as if the finish to last year was really good. There was like 3 months. It was just completely away. It was fantastic. It can be better. And it was kind of like, I obviously then wanted to talk to you. Now, why I want to record this and share with everybody is because I was like, this is, I feel, a great way of living. Yes, there's a huge amount of obstacles in the way, but I feel like we can clear those obstacles as well. Because as soon as people jump in and go, oh, like traveling heaps, business, kids, then it's like, there's so many obstacles that can slow us down. So let's jump into a few things.
Or you could make it your reason. So like, one of my fears about business wasn't like, I wasn't worried, can I keep up? Like, could I do it? My team was a bit freaked out, and I totally understand that.
Yeah.
My fear was, if I'm off on holidays, will clients like resent it? That was a fear. Like, were they like, dude, I'm doing all this stuff and we're paying all this money and like Taki's traveling around the world. So I wanted to make sure that they knew that I was just as on as I was at home. And so we came up with this idea to send people postcards every month from here's what we're doing. And I wanted to turn it into an aspirational thing rather than a look at me, I'm so great and you're stuck back there.
Yes.
Anyway, why don't you lead and I'll follow? Because
you're doing really good. Kids, how do you cover the obstacle of kids? Now, your kids are older than mine, but how
8, 9 and 17 now. They were 7, 8 and 16 when we left.
What were the questions that first came up when it came to how do we make this best work for the kids? Like how does this become just an absolute, do you mean one of those moments in their life where they look back and go, God, mum and dad really nailed it?
Yeah, and I just love, like I saw, okay, I got like 3 things to say and I've got one mouth, it's hard. I'm just going to do one of them at a time. Here's the first thing. I've got 6 kids. 3 of them are in their 20s and they don't live with us anymore. 1 of them works with us. So there's kind of really 4 who could have come on the trip and 2 who couldn't have because of the world. 7, 8, 16, 23, 24. And 2 of them, like my Ethan, who's now 17, and Araha, who's now 9.
Yep.
Both are on the autistic spectrum and they don't like change at all.
Yeah.
So that's a problem, right? That's like a serious thing to have. Like, you don't want to make some kid hate their life for a year and put them way out of their comfort zone in a way that's painful. And so the other thing is that of the 3 kids who are still at school, when we travel, they're in 3 different school systems.
Yeah.
That's just not smart. That's like, don't do that. Yeah. So Ethan he's at a special needs school in Sydney.
Yep.
Araha did online school at using this kind of online platform. And Jacinta's actually she's 100% our kid, but by birth, she's my sister's daughter. Yeah. And because of the foster care arrangement, she had to be legally in the New South Wales Department of Education distance ed.
Yep.
So I've got now 3 kids across 3 different school systems. And that's like another like massive obstacle we had to do. And then we've got to get back for access with her mum regularly, or else, so there's a bunch of like complications. So, so I just wanted to let people know that it was bloody hard. Is all I'm trying to say.
Totally. How do you answer those questions, or how did you try to answer those questions?
Well, number one, you decide that it's going to be worth it anyway.
Yeah.
Right. And so if it's worth doing, then you figure it out. And so special needs, how do you do that? Well, you make sure that every day's got routine. And so pretty much what we would do is that in the days, we would go out in the mornings, we'd be back after lunch, and in the afternoon, the kids could just chill. I'd love to be out all day, every day, but my kids like to have their own quiet space.
Yeah.
Every kid brought something of theirs from their bedroom at home, and wherever we stayed, whether it was in a hotel room or at an Airbnb or on a yacht, their area was their area. And so they'd get in, and Araha brought like 100 million of these little stuffed Beanie Boo toys.
Yeah.
And we get in, we go on the boat, we'd find her bunk, and then the Beanie Boos would be set up, and then that was home. So having like some kind of totem from home really helps.
Yeah, like an anchor.
Like an anchor. What else?
What about
making it like, okay.
Relationship-wise, yourself and Kira Marie? No, obviously we don't have to go as deep as you want, but how do you make sure that you I'll be up. With Lauren and myself, we found after a little while, I was like, we're not getting the quality one-on-one time together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Of course, because now there's all of your normal support networks aren't there.
Totally. How do you manage that?
Well, you do what the kids do with the Beanie Boos, and you bring the support network with you. So we did online school for Araha, distance ed for Jacinta, and sneaky work with the teacher ed for Ethan. So he stayed enrolled, and whenever we were back, he was back in the classroom.
Yeah.
But what we did was we brought Vera with us. Now, who's Vera? She's a teacher. She's like, you know what? We can't do this by ourselves. Like the Moore family has got some pretty epic needs anyway. It's already a complicated show. Why don't we bring one extra? So we had the extraordinary, we had a privilege. We had Vera, the nanny / teacher, travel with us. She did all the schooling. And when it came time for Kira and I to need some space, like, hey, Vera, we're going to go off and explore for the day. Can you? Of course.
Yeah.
And so obviously you got to make sure that she gets her time. Otherwise it's like nobody wants to be like on call 24/7.
Yeah.
But that works just incredibly well.
Yeah. I think that is definitely something that needs to be looked at, because especially sitting down now planning what our trips are going to be. One of the biggest questions I want to have a decent answer, at least starting off with, is how are we going to get our quality time together between Lauren and I? Because otherwise she can be, so anyone tuning in doesn't know, I've got a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. She could be too much with the girls. Do you know what I mean? And then I might like do my other work or go off and do interviews or like whatever it is, and then come back. And then our quality time is like, once you get the girls to bed, let's say, do you know what I mean? Which could be like 7:30 p.m. We've got about 60 to 90 minutes of like still awake time before we're like dead to the world, and it's still not that great quality anyway.
Yeah, and now you're stuck in the Airbnb or the hotel or whatever, and you can't go anywhere because the kids are there, right? So, the short answer is just like I asked you the same question about gyms the other day and working out on the road.
Yeah.
The answers are either you bring it with you or you find it there.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty easy to find, nannies and cool people on the road to help out with some stuff.
Yeah.
We happen to have like friends and family all over the world, or friends all over the world. And so where possible, do that. But we just decided, because of the schooling piece, because of our kids' age, to bring somebody with us. And that's what we did.
Awesome. How did you operate and set up the way that you went day to day? What was your day-to-day schedule? So at least you knew that you could say, get the stuff done for the business, and then also have time to actually enjoy the locations that you're in, family, like fill those different cups.
Yeah. So there are, really well and not really well is probably the full answer. So I'll tell you the really well bit, and then I'll tell you the truth is, I'm not a very structured person. I don't like my day. Like, I'm good at planning years and I'm good at weeks, but day to day, like, I'm not super structured. I don't have like a 12-point checklist, of like between 11 and 11:15, brush teeth clockwise, 11:15, like, it's not like that. So pretty much we've got some big rocks in the calendar, like the webinars that I need to run for clients, and they're like the anchor points. So I know, like, you know what, I've got to show up to be amazing for my clients. That means that we've got to have the stuff ready time beforehand. So I just got to make sure that happens. Often when we're on the road, I'd go out and explore through the day. And then in the evenings, once the kids are down, then I do my prep work.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easy. Like if you're in California, the US, Australia time zone is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But if you've got to run an 8 a.m. and a 10 a.m. webinar in Australia and you're in Barcelona, that's 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. And then there's 3 things you need: a double espresso, a cold shower, and some burpees. The only time I've willingly done burpees. It's like, dude, I'm just like...
That's a good setup. Okay, yeah. I think that's really good. I think especially...
So in terms of office on the road?
Yes, yes.
I don't have an office that I work out of at home. Like I've got an office, but I don't live in there. Yeah. I do my work wherever. I've always been fairly mobile. So for me, it's iPad, an Apple Pencil, and my whole office fits in this bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just like microphone goes in there, webcam goes in here, cables, and that'll just come with us wherever we go. And so frankly, the setup wasn't that different for me than for other people. It wasn't that different for me on the road as it is at home. It's the same go bag.
Perfect. And where do you feel like you could have done better for next time? For 2018, what are the learnings for yourself?
Yeah. So the lifestyle-wise, when we went to plan this trip, Kira Marie, my amazing wife, she wanted to do less places for longer. 4 to 6 weeks in a city, and 3 or 4 cities through the year. I was like, well, that sounds really good, but I'm a variety guy, and I was like, well, what if we pick somewhere crap? No offense, Adelaideans, but I wouldn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You pick the wrong city and you're just blown 6 weeks of your life that you're never getting back because of some dumb commitment. And obviously we could have moved, but so I was like, she wanted to do 6 weeks. I wanted to do 2 weeks. I got my way. It was an amazing year. I would do it again just like that, but I know for the family, they need extra time. So this year we're going to do a month per location.
Yep.
And much better.
Yeah.
So
it's funny because Lauren said the exact same thing to me, longer stints in each location. And therefore it was kind of okay, well, where are those stints? Do you know what I mean? Is it LA, Mexico, Spain, maybe even Brazil, something like that. And then obviously maybe somewhere, I don't really like cold. Who was the person that you said, where do you live? And they said, summer.
Mike Hargraves. Yeah. He's my designer. It's where do you want, if you could live anywhere in the world, Mike, where would you live? He goes, summer. It's what? So yeah. Exactly. That's exactly how we live. So there's one change. We're going to go one place cold because my kids have never seen snow because I'm this hot weather guy.
Yeah.
And so Finland or Iceland's on the menu because it looks just insanely pretty. Yeah.
Okay. Really good. We've ticked so many boxes so far. 2018, what's this going to look like now? Kind of ballpark picture sitting here. What's it going to be?
Yeah, so it's going to look the same in terms of the propeller.
Yes.
In fact, it's going to probably look closer to the propeller than what we did. Actually, one thing that didn't work well was I overcommitted event-wise.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if I've got the picture if I do, yeah, can I just draw for one minute?
Yeah, please.
One minute. Okay, so this was the original plan, Sydney, March, July, November, and do these loops, right?
Yep.
And I explained, and you get it, that these times here are when we're in town running workshops.
Yep.
So these are workshops that we do to deliver stuff to our clients. And one of the things that we've done every year is also run an introduction workshop, which is a 1 day, super intensive, super high value workshop.
Yep.
Designed to blow people's minds and have them go, that's amazing, and I'd love to work with you for a year, and they get to be part of the rest of the tribe. And so the ideal time for those workshops is like 6 to 8 weeks before this one.
Yep. So they've got a run in.
Yeah, so they can go, great, and then next workshop's coming out really soon. And so that sounds really good in theory, but if that means, again, you have to be in Sydney and LA and whatever, then you end up with a propeller that looks more like this.
Yeah.
And after the first 2 workshops, I was just like, yeah, this isn't fun.
Yeah.
Like, I've got work on my mind when I should be off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Although, I mean, in truth, we're staying in this ridiculous over-the-water bungalow. My VA accidentally booked it. It was $3,000 a night for 10 nights. It was just mental. And so it was like, okay, well, we're here, so we're going to live it up.
Yeah.
And, anyway, so we're in Tahiti for 10 extraordinary days. We left. We landed on Sunday night and ran one of these workshops on Monday morning, and it went extraordinarily well. But doing these events, like switching from like traveling the world with family to like on mode was okay, but I didn't like all of the extra travels it meant. Like 6 trips to the States is way different to 3 trips to the States, right?
Yeah.
Love you, America, but not 6 times. And so what's different for this year is streamlining the events down. We've actually we're going to test out for the first 4 months of the year, no event, and have all of the funnels straight into appointments instead. And that way I can be free, and Amy and Vanessa, the team, can look after people. And also bring a friend to these events, so that if we have an incredible client, like if you happen to know someone who's amazing and fits, then you could bring them along, and that way I don't have to do a whole separate thing. You know what I mean? Totally. So it's meant streamlining down is the big change work-wise. I
love this. It's just a really good setup, and I'm getting so many ideas. I'm writing so many notes. So selfish. No, okay, this is really good.
So that's the big change I'm going to make. Work-wise.
Yeah.
And it also means that I need to support the team picked up everything we threw at them, but like throwing stuff at your team probably isn't a great long-term strategy.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So
what was their feedback from everything that happened in 2017?
Well, it started with terror, to be honest. Like, they were pretty freaked out. Not all of them, but like, yeah, a lot of them were pretty freaked out.
Yeah.
It was like a dramatic change in like how we're going to talk to you guys. And obviously that means like virtual comms tools like Zoom, like we're on right now, and Slack, etc., become really, really, even more important. Although frankly, none of our team works in the same city as us. Oh, Steve does, but the rest don't.
Yeah.
I think it's like 12 or 15 or something right now, all around the world. And so we always use those tools. So we just have to kind of double down on that.
Yeah.
It means you need to over communicate. Like anytime, like Mike, my designer, who I love to bits, started freaking out going, well, they're away and I'm not hearing from Taki as much. Is my job secure?
Right. Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
Of course. As long as it was crazy. So they were scared, and then we made it work. And at the end, they were like, wow, we managed to grow. Client results are up. Number of clients is way up. Like the business grew both in money and impact without us having to be physically hands-on all the time. And so now they're pretty excited about our next step, and they are pretty happy that we're not going to be traveling around quite as much, because like if somebody wants to book a meeting with me, it's good to know that Taki is going to be in Moscow for a month, or whatever.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not going to Moscow for a month. But,
you really chose a cold spot. Okay.
That's right.
What's the one-word theme for 2018?
It's really interesting. It usually takes me a couple of goes to get it right. Like adventure came really easily.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the draft word. And it's not the right word, but the idea is right. So adventure and nomad were really good personal words for like living more. The word that I'm feeling for 2018 is more about expression and art. Like doing more of my, creating more amazing in the world. I just feel like I've got so much I want to share this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It doesn't help me with travel, but you could do art anywhere. That's kind of that's what's going on anyway.
Okay, I love that. So let's say key takeaways right now. Number one,
Yeah.
I'd say first step is figure out what your theme, what your word and theme is for the year.
Yeah, word for the year. Yeah, and I think the way you do that is just like, what's the one thing that I'd really want more of this year?
Okay, awesome. Second step, I wrote down what the locations would be. What do you think next step is? Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, 100%. Like, where do you want to go? Because like we need ingredients before we can cook.
Yeah.
So if the word is nomad, and you go, what would be great? Somewhere Viking, somewhere hot, somewhere tropical, or you always sort of like somewhere Asian because the food's good. Somewhere European because it's classy and classic. Somewhere American because they think big.
Yeah.
Somewhere tropical so we can bum out on an island. Like just you want all of that, right?
Third step, what would that be? Is it like designing everything around making it happen?
Yeah, I think the third step is to put it in your calendar. Like, I bet, like if you're watching or listening to this right now, and the topics appeal to you, there's probably none of this is like a new idea. You've probably thought about traveling more at some stage, or even going remote, and you're like, "Gee, we could ever find the time. That'd be amazing." But the truth is, you never find the time. You make it. Like, right? Yeah. The question isn't like, is your calendar going to be full in 2018? That's not the question. Of course, it's going to be full. The question is like, who's going to fill your calendar in 2018? It's going to be you or some other schmuck. Yeah. And they're the man. And so, if it's going to be you, then I think the third step is to design it out on a calendar. And so I really like iPad for this. And you can do it on a pen and paper, but I really like just being able to like have a thing and then just being able to draw on top of it on an iPad and then move things around. And dude, if it's helpful, I've got a blank 2018 calendar I'm really happy to give to you to share with everybody.
Awesome. Yeah.
And you can just like get started and just map out your stuff. You know, most of us have to balance kind of worky stuff and personal stuff. And so we kind of blend both. But I think long answer. Step 3, put it in your calendar.
Okay, beautiful. Theme, word for the day, or word for the year, sorry, which it should be, location, and then put that sucker into the calendar moving from there. I think this is really good. Is there anything else you would add to that?
No, the what's next is really around logistics. Like once you've thrown your heart in, and the rest is just details. Like I had no question that we're going to be able to pull it off. Like frankly, I wasn't involved in any of the logistics. So I was like, I've got a pretty sweet position. I'm like, yeah, we're going here. Yeah. Figure it out, you guys. Yeah. And they're like, all right. But like that, I mean, that's how, even if you're doing your own logistics, it's like, I'm going to separate the logistics from the decision. Today's job is just make the decision. Nice. Great. I like that. Yeah. And once the decision's made, now it's logistics. Great. What are we going to do with kids in school? What are we going to do to make sure that we stay, like the thing that sucked, the one thing that really suffered for me this last year was working out. Like when I'm home, I go to we had this. Yeah. CrossFit here, and I like it because it's social, and I kept it up to like 3 workouts across a year. One of them was with you at No Next in LA. No Next. Gold's Gym. Gold's in Venice. That's right. We're getting our pump on. Yeah, well, you were getting a pump on, and I was getting shown up by a bunch of really big-looking dudes without necks, but with abs significantly more aggressive than mine. You're funny. Okay, brilliant. I think this is absolutely gold. I'm so pumped up. Lauren is going to shit her pants when she comes back home because I'm going to throw all this at her right now. So that's going to be a fun conversation later today. But I really liked what you said. I think that was actually a really key thing. Is like, make the decision and then do logistics, because I feel like it's really easy to kind of like do a half-assed decision, and then once you start jumping into the logistics, the too hard basket. The logistics that talks you back out of it. Oh, exactly. Cool. I think that whole I think that's great. Like one last thing, and this is from me to you, and it might help the others or it might not, but like if you think about, and I do this with everything, not just with this kind of nomad thing, but it's just that like, I think there's really 80% of the world thinks about achieving things one way, and I think it's the hard way, and like maybe 20%, if I'm generous, do it the other way. And it goes like this: you figure out what do I want and why, right? Everybody does that. Like we go, I want to travel more. Why? It'd be really fun. Great. And then there's a fork in the road. We can go one of 2 ways. We can go how and learn it and figure out booking flights and finding the Airbnbs and like researching online schools and like for anything. Like you can go, what do I want? Why do I want it? And how do I do it? And that's hard.
Yeah.
Or you can go, what do I want? Why do I want it? And who?
Yeah.
Who is just like, great. So for me, I go Katie Lister at mrandmrssmith.com, our travel fixer.
Yeah.
These are the destinations. Can you get some options together? No worries. Quincy, who does our events. These are the areas we're thinking. Whoa. Like, it's not as easy as that, but it's as easy as that.
Yeah, we definitely can make it as easy as that. I think that's a really important part for people of doing Let's Sink In.
Correct. And even if you, like, could you save a couple of bucks by jumping on the travel sites and booking the airfares yourself? Well, yeah, but you're probably going to spend 2 full days in the internet hating your life.
Yeah, 100%.
Or you could talk to one prospect and sign them up as a client and have profit left over from the travel agent that you spent, I think that's just smart.
Yeah, totally. Taki, this has been absolutely brilliant. For the viewer, I want the viewer to know that Taki has had a massive impact on me. Dude, I appreciate everything you do. I can't believe, the last year that we've been able to jam together has just been awesome.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
This is where I want to make sure that you get the most out of being here, and I want to hear from you. So if you've enjoyed this episode, click like and make sure I can send you the new episodes each and every week. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, I really want to make sure that I'm giving you exactly what you need. So comment below. I want to know what you're going to take away from this episode. And the best conversations after every episode always happen in the Breaking Success Tribe. I'll pop a link below for you to join the free group so you get access to the guides, the live streams. I'm in there answering your questions personally each and every day. Plus you get all the episodes as well. So thank you so much for being here and joining us. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.